They're 700 horses, a man and machine. They're full wide. Green flag, showtime. The Knoxville Nationals are green.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another night of Flieger Farm TV on the pole as we get set to go here tonight. Hopefully that's all settled in here correctly. We get everything set and ready to roll. Here from Lernerville Speedway tonight. Here, starting off tonight, this is the Big Block Modifieds and the 358. Starting with the 358s here tonight. Then we'll move on to the Pro Late models. This is Thursday Night Thunder. Now we got everything situated. You're looking there at Dean Reynolds in that FTM Motorsports machine. He's getting out there, setting up a few laps there. Looks like Trevor Guru out there in the first spot with a 15.684. Now Anthony Morano comes in with the quick time of 15.650. He gets down there in at number 32. Scott Riome out there in the number 3 spot. Now we get set to roll here tonight. Hopefully everybody can hear us all right and enjoys the racing. Sounding okay so far. Mike Brewer out on track. If I can get to come up here. I thought Mike Brewer was out on track. There we are. Mike Brewer out on track. trying to get the audios correct here so we can obviously enjoy tonight's racing. Here we go. Heat number 1 coming up. Starting on pole, that's Matt Barber. Brandon Dittmer there in second. Dean Reynolds will start third. Anthony Morano in fourth. Barry Wallace there fifth. Alex Pomerleau there in sixth. Mike Brewer rolls off in seventh tonight here for heat number 1 of your 358 division. As we get set to rock and roll here tonight. Trying to get this set right. Okay, green flag in the air, here we go. Down and away in the corner number 1. Let's see if we can get our grid up here. There we go. As the 83 of Dittmer up there on that high side. The preferred line here at Lernerville. As they come down here in the 3 and 4, that high line, you'll see it prevail here throughout the night. But Barber doing a great job right now down there on the inside with these 358s. You can sometimes get a little bit better bite off the bottom early on. But you see Dittmer now going down to the inside as they come through 3 and 4. Here comes Morano up there on the high side. Dean Reynolds in there as well. They roll down here into corner number 1 once again. Side by side as they slide up there into the cushion off of 2. There's Matt Barber trying to get back on the inside of Dittmer. Morano back here fighting in third spot. Dean Reynolds is outside. 3 wide back here at the back. And you got the 210 of Barry Wallace fighting for position. Coming through off the back stretch down here. In the corner number 3 and 4, Barry Wallace there in 6. Mike Brewer falls back into, or hasn't moved. He's back in 7th here, struggling a little bit here. Dittmer out front. Barber there second. Barber now going and getting the run down there on the inside. As Dittmer gets it back on the outside, Barber trying to fight on the inside, cannot quite get there. Morano sticking it up there on the top side as well, getting around Reynolds for the moment. Hanging on the third spot as they go around turns 1 and 2. Dittmer doing all he can to hang on to the lead if he can, but Barber's down there on that inside, getting that inside lane to work for the time being off of 2. This is going to be close, folks, here as they go through 2. Up here, I saw 2, that's 2 laps to go. That's kind of where that 2 came from there across the front stretch. They come back down here out of turn number 4. Barber down there on the inside, hanging on to a final lap here. Who's it going to be? Barber or Dittmer? Dittmer's up there in the cushion, up there in that fluff, as he gets to run down the backstretch here in the corner number 3 and 4. Barber going down to the inside, going to see if he can get anything to happen. Here they come to the line, and it might be Dittmer getting the win on that outside lane, coming there across the line. It's going to be close. Less than a second, or looks like it was a... Come on here, there we go. There, your Heat 1 results. Brandon Dittmer there in first. Matt Barber there in second. Anthony Morano third. Dean Reynolds fourth. Alex Pomerleau there fifth. And Mike Brewer there sixth. Barry Wallace finishes in seventh. That is your Heat 1 here tonight. Brought to you by Gambler Motorsports. Heat 2 brought to you by Regency Home Inspections. And that grid for that is going to be Brian Lawson out front, Sam Bachman there second. Dylan Kinsey rolls off third with Trevor Carew there fourth. Scott Tanacker there in fifth. Joe Mossau there in sixth. So heat number 2 getting ready for the start here. I see Sam Bachman up there on the high side in that 007. Green flag in the air. We're down and away. And in the corner number 1 as they go down here, and it looks like Lawson's going to try that fine down there to the inside. Whoa, hang on to it there. Seneca, as you get way down there on the bottom of the racetrack, down there in that grass, that's not quite where you want to be. Sam Bachman doing a great job getting out there to the lead. As now Brian Lawson has to get up there to the high side. He's going to try to hang on to it. Oh, no, and he goes around. And, whoa, man, what a great job. Heads up driving there by everybody to get through that. As now we got Trevor Carew down there to the bottom side. Dylan Kinsey there in third now. With Scott Seneca working down through the front stretch there to 143. Up into the outside walls, the 28 and Joe Moscal, sorry. As they work down the backstretch once again, everybody single file for the most part. With Sam Bachman out front, Trevor Carew there second, Scott Seneca there in third. Now back to fourth as Dylan Kinsey gets up there in a third. Brian Lawson crashed once again. He's now back in the pits. We're going to see if he can get something worked on in that car between the names here. I got Sam Bachman out front, Trevor Carew there second, Scott Seneca there fourth, Scott Moscal fifth, Sam Bachman way out front right at the moment. Here coming through turn 3 and 4, back down through off of turn number 4, down through the front stretch. Looking good so far. Hopefully audio sounds good tonight. As we hope you're hearing the cars over top of me just fine. And vice versa. 2 laps to go here in heat number 2 as they work here off of turn number 4. Back down that front stretch, Trevor Carew there second, Dylan Kinsey there third. As they head on down through here, working real good. Third, now fourth, as Lackey gets around him down there on the inside. Here comes that 23 of William Watson as he tries to get up there. Here they come through off the corner, side by side, getting up there. Oh, a little bit of bumping. Oh, no, around goes Sharp. And Schatzer might have had some issues there as well as Jeff Barker. Schatzer pulls it off. I think he might be broke. As Glenn Sharp, Jeff Barker, and Kurt Schatzer all come together. Brian Moore out front, Chad Lackey there in second. William Watson third. Glenn Sharp back here now in fourth. With Jeff Barker back here in fifth. As they come rolling off the back here. Rolling down here off the corner. Chad Lackey there second, William Watson third, Glenn Sharp here in fourth, Jeff Barker fifth. Working down through here, off unofficial results. Here, Brian Moore will take the win. Here, Chad Lackey gets second. Heat 4 results soon to come in. There you go, heat number 4 results. Come on in. Brian Moore there in first. Gonna get the win there for heat number 4. Chad Lackey there second, William Watson third, Glenn Sharp there in fourth, Jeff Barker fifth, Kurt Schatzer there in sixth. On to the LCQ. Starting out front, going to be Alex Parmalu, Joe Masao there in second, John Comount there in third, Jeff Barker fourth, Mike Brewer fifth, Brian Lawson there in sixth, Clay Christopherson seventh, Kurt Schatzer 8, Barry Wallace there in 9th as we get going here tonight. In the 358 B main, or rather LCQ if you'd rather. don't know if these storms in the area are giving me havoc or what's going on, but something's not playing nice tonight, and I am duly sorry about that. Had a great time last night. No drop frames here tonight. I don't understand what the issue is. We'll try to keep it going here. Figure it out along the way. As I said, unsure exactly what's going on. Here we go. Joe out front. Alex probably getting a great run there on the outside. Or I'm sorry, no, Joe getting a great run there on the outside. I'm sorry. Jeff Barker, what a run he's got coming off a 2. Getting together there with the 397. Hang on to it, Joe. You got the 52, or I'm sorry, no, the 57. Brian Lawson there. Oh, man, squeezing 4 wide there, coming into corner number 1. Get loose, and around goes Jeff. And around goes a few others here. As we got Brian Lawson going around. Kurt Satcher getting possibly a piece of it. There as Jeff Barker as well, trying to get back up there to battle it out. Out front is Alex Pomerleau. As you got Joe Mossal there in second. Mike Brewer there in third. Clay Christopherson fourth. Barry Wallace there fifth. I think I'm rolling down here off the corner. Back around onto the front stretch. Down here. Cross into turn number 1. 7 laps to go. These drivers doing all they can to try to make the feature event here. As they roll on down through there. Barry Wallace there fifth. Kurt Schatzer sixth. Joe Clemont there in 7th. I don't know if I'm saying your last name there, John Jr. We'll just start calling you John Jr. and then that'll solve that issue. As we come on to the backstretch, Jeff Barker there coming off the corner. Mike Brewer there in third. Clay Christopherson there fourth. Kurt Schatzer in fifth. John Jr. there in sixth. Working on back around there. You can see Alex Pomerleau hanging on to that top side up here on that top rail. Trying to keep it going as he's got traffic to his inside of Joe Massal down there along the low side. He's got that 28 there in the middle. As he's got that 397. I'm sorry, no, that 390 of Mike Brewer working down there also. And Joe's trying to catch back up there too. Clay Thompson there in fourth. Now as they roll around here, 3 laps to go here in the B main for the 358s. We got them running really well here so far. Working down here off the corner, up there along the top side. Joe Mossal, Mike Brewer as well. Alex Pomerleau in first as they work up there across the top side. Joe working there in third. Clay Christopherson there in fourth. Working down here off the corner, onto the front stretch. They go once again. Back into corner number 1. Clay Christopherson up there to the high side. Kurt Schatzer there in fifth. Barry Wallace there in sixth. Joe Clement there in 7th. Jeff Barker in 8th as they come rolling around here off the corner. And it's going to be Alex Pomerleau for the win. Mike Brewer gets second. Wait for the official results to come in. There we go. Alex Pomerleau there in first. Mike Brewer there second. Clay Christopherson third. Joe Mossal there fourth. Kurt Schatzer fifth. Barry Wallace sixth. John Jr. takes home 7th. Jeff Barker 8th. Brian Lawson in 9th. So a couple of the drivers might not be making it on to the show tonight.
dollars had come together to support us, and we realized, no, we didn't want to use them for us, we wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive, so having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King.
Back here at the racetrack, we got Brandon Dittmer starting on pole for your feature here in your 358s. Sam Bachman in second, Kelly Wheeler third, Brian Moore there fourth, Matt Barber there fifth, Trevor Carew there sixth, Scott Briome there in seventh, Chad Lackey in eighth, Anthony Morano ninth, Dylan Kinsey there 10th, Harold Klump in 11th, William Watson in 12th, starting in 13th, that's going to be Dean Reynolds and Scott Zanacker there in 14th. John Dubai in 15th, Glenn Sharp in 16th, Alec Pomerleau there in 17th, Mike Brewer 18th, Clay Christopherson 19th, Joe Mossal there in 20th, Kurt Satzer 21st, Barry Wallace there 22nd, John Clement there in 23rd with Jeff Barker 24th. That is your 24-car field. Get ready for the green flag here in the feature for Thursday Night Thunder. Down through the front stretch. Here we go into corner number 1. As they work here off the back stretch. Heading down here into corner number 3. Sam Bachman out front. Brandon Dittmer there second. Andy Morano there in 4th. Matt Barber there in 3rd. William Watson there in 8th. And they work on down through here. Kelly Wheeler there in 6th. Brian Moore in 5th. Anthony Morano up there on the back wall. Well, I guess it wouldn't be considered a back wall here at Lernerville, but he's back with that back berm. As they come down through off of there, he's going to keep it in 4th. Sam Bachman leading the way here. Brandon Dittmer there in 2nd. Matt Barber there in 3rd. As 3 of these drivers still battle it out, and they still battle it out back here through the middle of the pack. Now you drivers are trying. Here you see Mike Brewer down there to the bottom side trying to get under Dean Reynolds. This has got Scott Riome up there in 12th. Alex Parmalu having issues. Yeah, figure out what's going on here. I'm not seeing anything as of right now. As it looks like right here is your caution as Alex Parmalu in that 397 ends up into that outside wall, ends up spun around on the front stretch. So back under yellow again here in the feature event in the 358s. Sam Bachman still your leader. Dittmer there in 2nd. Matt Barber there in 3rd. Andrew Morano 4th. Brian Moore in 5th. That is how your top 5 round out at this point in time. And head on down through here off the corner. As we said, single file restart. All right, down here, across the front stretch, and into the corner number 1, there goes Sam Bachman, is your leader. Dittmer there in 2nd. Look out, though, here's Morano. He's trying to make a run there. Down on the bottom side, getting a little bit something there through the corner, but cannot quite get it to pass. As he's back up there on the top side, coming there out of 4, 8 to go. Here they come across the stripe into turn number 1. Matt Barber there in 3rd. As Dennis Morano trying to chase him down, Dittmer 2nd. Sam Bachman just kind of hanging out in front at the time. And everybody tries to work together back here, staying straight for the most part. Matt Barber back here in 3rd, trying to hold off Anthony Morano, and Brian Moore is back here in 5th. Some drivers really struggling here tonight, as others are not. Scott Rione falling back, as he's in the pits. William Watson in 8th. There they come here off the corner. Getting a little tighter. Hang on to it. And we got one off track. That's going to be the 91 of Chad Lackey. I saw William Watson also around. And watch it here as they come off the corner. Around here through 3 and 4. There goes Chad Lackey. There goes the 23. William Watson. Watson getting it back underway. Five laps to go here in the feature event. 4 laps to go. Bachman out front, Dittmer there second, Barber's third. Morano sitting back here in fourth. Down off the corner, here we go, 5 laps to go now, 4 laps, they come down here into corner number 1 for another time here tonight. Bachman out front, Dittmer there second, Barber there third. Anthony Morano back here in fourth, Brian Moore in fifth. Working down here off the corner, side by side is Morano trying to get underneath a Barber. Not quite get there. It looks like Moore's going to try to see if he can get up there and battle along the side. Morano, Kelly Wheeler back here in sixth. He's trying to get up there to Moore. 2 laps to go to come across the line down here into corner number 1 once again. Front to back. There's Sam Bachman, Brandon Dittmer, Matt Barber, Anthony Morano, and Brian Moore. Your top 5 that come here off of corner number 4 for coming around for the final lap. Last time into corner number 1 for these guys in the 358s here tonight. Down the backstretch. Sam Bachman is your leader. Brandon Dittmer there in second. Who's it going to be as they come here off the corner? Whoa, hang on to it. And the 16 is around. That's going to clog him up and over he goes. As now Brian Moore ends up taking third spot away. As Anthony Morano and Matt Barber come together, they're off of 4. Man, what a tough break for those 2 drivers. Feature results. Sam Bachman there in first, getting the win. Brandon Dittmer there in second. Brian Moore comes out with third. Kelly Wheeler fourth. Dylan Kinsey there fifth. Clay Christopherson there sixth. Dean Reynolds seventh. Mike Brewer eighth. Kurt Schatzer there ninth. Joe Massal there in 10th. Trevor Garou 11th. Scott Zanacker there in 12th. Jeff Barker there in 13th. William Watson 14th. John Klomeltz there in 15th. John Dubai 16th. Barry Wallace 17th. And 18th we have Matt Barber, Anthony Morano there in 19th, Harold Klump in 20th, Chad Lackey there in 21st, Scott Riom 22nd, Alex Pomerleau there 23rd, and Glenn Sharp 24th. Man, oh man, what a night here. This has been so far for us. See who we got here. See if I can get on here to see them. There we go. All right, your winner, your third place finisher here tonight, Brian Moore. Good evening, Brian. How's it going?
Well, pretty good now, man. I luckied out and ended up on the podium after that. I don't know what happened up there, but luckily I snuck by it and got a podium out of it. I think that's the first podium I've got with these things.
Well, I mean, you definitely had a lucky break there, to say the least. I don't know what happened there with the 16 of Matt Barber. He just seemed like he got loose there and collected Morano there behind him.
Is that what happened? All I saw was 2 cars sitting sideways as you come out of 4, and I just went high and tried to go around them and miss them. So, yeah, it was all I could do to hold on to 5th there. It was starting to get pretty bad there, and I think whoever that was behind me, Kelly Wheeler, I believe, he was about ready to go by me. But hats off to him for running me clean and not pushing the issue there. But, yeah, I think that's the best I've done in these things on Thursday night. So,
well, yeah, I mean,
happy with that.
you did really well here tonight. I mean, I don't know if we've had the pleasure of talking to you up here in the booth yet or not over the last couple of seasons that I've been here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but you did a great job tonight. Great start to the next season here, the summer season.
Yeah, this will kick it off pretty good for me. So, yeah, that's cool.
Well,
I think it's the first time I've talked to you. So, I just got to give a shout out to my brother Rick and his woman, or his wife, I better say, or she'll get mad at me. His wife, Rona, and then Young Gun Creations for their wraps they do on my cars, and then the sponsor tonight, who is it? Full Throttle Motorsports.
Is that who's sponsoring the big blocks, or I mean the modifieds?
I think I heard that. But anyway, thanks for the sponsors and giving us a place to run, and Coast to Coast League, and you for the broadcast, and everybody behind the scenes, man. It takes a lot to put these things on, and I appreciate everybody's work.
Yeah, it looks like it is Full Throttle Motorsports Thursday Night Thunder.
Okay, that's what I thought I heard. So.
Yeah, Full Throttle Motorsports sponsors the big blocks, or the modified series, and then Regal Wraps is sponsoring the Pro Late models.
Well, got to give a shout out to all them guys in Full. I know there's probably 10 or 20 of them in there, so
at least
thanks to them guys.
Okay, well, congrats, and we'll see how the rest of your night goes. Or are you one and done tonight?
No, I'll probably run the big blocks too.
Alrighty, well,
so
good luck in the big blocks. You got any other shout-outs you need to give?
No, that's it, man. Thanks a lot.
Alrighty, you have a great time here in the big block.
Thank you.
All right, I have Brian Moore. Now we'll get with Brandon Dittmer, our second place finisher. Good evening, Brandon. How's it going?
Oh, not bad yourself?
Well, it's going okay if I can just get this stream to cooperate tonight. For some reason, it's dropping frames like crazy. I'm hoping it's due to weather, but I have not a clue.
So it looked okay during the heats. I just didn't have any overlays or anything, but there's a couple times where it kind of stuttered, but otherwise not too bad.
Yeah, I mean, I'm apologizing for it because, I mean, I'm doing what I can. I think Mother Nature's not playing too nice.
You got some weather around you?
Yeah, I got some weather.
That's not fun.
Unfortunately. I mean, if we were racing Lernerville IRL right now, I don't know if they'd be running right now.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that track be a little wet, so fingers crossed. I mean, it's their firecracker right now, so fingers crossed they're getting some racing in. But, I mean, for you tonight, you look like you had it pretty set there coming through the heats and coming into the feature. Just unfortunately didn't have anything for Sam Bachman out front.
Yeah, he was catching me sleep on every single restart. I struggled on it, and I think he would have liked to see maybe a green-white checkered because I had nothing for him. He's like, if it say green, you might have got me. I was like, I don't know, but no, that cushion was getting really thin. It was really starting to scare me. I think it was scaring him too. But luckily we held on. Trevor unfortunately took a ride early in the race and went out, but luckily held on. I'm happy with the second, especially on Thursday night. I'm getting better in a mod little by little, but I mean, I'll take what I can get in these things.
And you got tough competition out there. I mean, there's nothing to sneeze at about the competition on Thursday nights.
Especially when you see a bunch of FTM boys whose these things are their main rides, just surrounding you all over the place. Like, I'm just happy to beat any of them at this point, especially Dino. But
well, you got sponsors. Shout out to anybody you want to thank for getting you that second place podium tonight.
Just you for the broadcast, everybody behind the scenes for Coast to Coast, making this thing run like it does. Who is the sponsors tonight? FTM, right?
FTM sponsors the modified, yes.
FTM for the sponsorship, of course. JRB Designs for the wrap. He did an amazing job. Training Wheels Racing, all the boys over there. And, of course, everybody around me for the great racing. And all that front runners, for the most part, keeping it clean, and a lot of solid fun.
All righty, well, great job getting out there in second. I mean, good start to the season. So, you running big blocks coming up?
Yes, I am.
All righty, well, good luck out there.
Thank you.
That was Brandon Dittmer. Now we're getting with our winner, Sam Bachman. How's it going?
Going pretty good.
Just pretty good. I mean, you don't sound overly excited they're getting in victory lane.
Oh yeah, it's pretty excited, but I felt like maybe if that thing went green all the way, Dittmer probably would have had me. He was a lot faster than me. I was just getting kind of saved by those cautions, I would say, but it was a good race. It just felt a little locked down on the top, and I was being a little scared to run it too hard in there, and so I didn't go off.
Yeah, that top side definitely does get a little sketchy here at Lernerville. I mean, you don't have any outside wall except for that front stretch.
Yeah, so I was kind of starting to do like a mini slider to the top, coming through the middle and doing like a little slider or whatever, so I wouldn't try to hit the top or whatever and go over.
Yeah, that's not always the best feeling whenever that top side gets a hold of you.
Yeah, it's definitely not, especially when you go over and do a couple flips.
So, but congrats getting that victory here in the 358s. You got sponsors, shout-outs, anybody you want to thank for helping you get the victory?
Yeah, all the boys over at FTM. Gunner at Swan Speed Shop, he's really been working hard on the dig for us. Dean over at Super Dirt Car Series, Expert Installation, obviously you, Flieger, for doing the broadcast, and Coast to Coast.
Alrighty, well, congrats on that victory once again, and great start to the season. Should help you. Hopefully you can keep the momentum rolling as the season goes on. You running the big blocks coming up?
Yes, sir, I'll be in there.
All right, look forward to seeing you. That's good luck out there.
Thank you.
All right, that was Sam Bachman, our winner here tonight. So stay tuned as we will go and get over into the next division, that being the big blocks. So, man, oh man, what a great night of racing it's been. We'll be back here after these messages.
It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Kiss on the champion. Trying to be a bit of a hiatus, so let's get.
Tonight when we talked about it.
these dollars had come together to support us, and we realized no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive, so having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
Here we go. We're here with the big blocks who are out here warming up. Getting everything situated here, getting them cars tested. See that track is resetting up. It's going to slicken off once again here with the big block. Probably a little quicker than the 358s. These guys have a lot more power to put down. Working down here across the bottom side of the racetrack right now. Trevor Giroux working up off of 2 down that back stretch. Hey, work there through 3 and 4. Like we were talking about before earlier, this track doesn't have an outside wall. And so as you work around here, you have a wall. There is actually a turn 3 and 4 wall, but it's more of a protection wall for the pit. Not so much for the driver as much as to protect pit road. And then there is a yellow or orange catch fence down over that hillside down there, like a snow fence type thing, to maybe catch the cars, but as you see, they're in the pits. You got that snow fence back there. Qualifying about to commence. There we go, qualifying. Who's going to be first on track? Looks like Brandon Dittmer is going to be the first one out on track. Bringing out number 83. He got second in the 358s. What can he do here in the big blocks? That way he come heading on down through here. And it looks like our stream may have finally straightened itself out maybe. As we head on down through here off of corner number 4. Watch Dittmer, fingers crossed. We'll see how it goes here from here on out. As we head on down through here off the corner down into corner number 3 and 4. Everybody's out on track, qualifying right now. John Dubai out there in the number 21. Dean Reynolds in the number 79. Brandon Dittmer, he puts down a time of 15.688. Who's going to be next? Matt Barber here lays down a 15.490. Lawson with a 15.301. Reynolds now comes out there and lays down a 15.194. Brian Moore out there in the 55, ends up off the top of turns 3 and 4. Not how you want to qualify. There we see Dean Reynolds out there. Sam Bachman in that 007, the winner of the 358s, out here running the big blocks with a 14.935, putting himself out there on the pole at the moment. But the one thing you got to understand here is the one that's going to be starting most likely on the pole is going to be Dean Reynolds. Or maybe not. No. We'll have to figure this out here as they get going here. Anthony Morano out on track. qualifying at the moment. Down there along the bottom side, ends up sliding up and off the top of the track. Scott Riome down there on the bottom side of 3 and 4 in that 444. As they work down through there, qualifying is over. We're moving on here to heat number 1. Six cars in heat number 1. Brandon Dittmer starting on pole. Dylan Kinsey in third. Dylan Kinsey in second. Anthony Morano third. Sam Bachman fourth. Alex Palmerloo fifth. William Watson there in sixth. All right, here we go. Coming there off the corner. Brandon Dittmer is going to be your control car. Dylan Kinsey there in second. Sam Bachman third. Anthony Morano there in fourth. So Brandon Dittmer, playing the invert as we see Sam Bachman up here on the top side in position 4. As he qualified pole, he's starting there in 4th as we invert the top 4 here. In the feature, the thing. Heat number 1 here tonight being brought to you by Gambler Motorsports. They head on down here off the corner. Down here in the corner number 1 to go. Kinsey getting a decent run there on the high side, but here comes Dittmer back up there on the outside. Here comes the 639 and Dylan Kinsey back down there to the inside. Dittmer up and off the racetrack. That's going to take him out of contention there for this one. As they come through there, we've got another one going around that looked to be Sam Bachman going around up there on the top side. Alex Parmalu getting up here. Looks like Dittmer has worked his way back up there in the 4th as the time being, but Parmalu fighting down there on the inside of him. As we've got them all fighting for position out front. Dylan Kinsey doing a great job hanging on to the lead right now. You got Anthony Morano there in second, William Watson third, Alex Parmalu fourth. As they work on down through here off the corner, there you see Kinsey rolling in first, 5 to go here in heat number 1. As they work on down through here, Anthony Morano in second, Watson there third, Parmalu in fourth. Dittmer, after falling off the top side of 3 and 4, trying to get back up there, getting that car dug in. You see that tire dig in. Then he gets into that outside wall, the only outside wall that you can really get into here at Lernerville. Down that front straightaway, they work there off of 3 and 4. Back down across the front stretch, 3 to go here as they work around here. William Watson there second, Anthony Morano there third, Alex Parmalu there fourth, Sam Bachman there in sixth, Brandon Dittmer in fifth. Bachman Dittmer back off the back of the racetrack. And got Kinsey out front doing a great job here in the big block, laying down a quick time. William Watson there in second, Anthony Morano there third. As they keep on rolling around here down out of turn number 4, back out onto the front stretch. Here they go. Everybody doing a great job here as they come off the corner. William Watson there second, Anthony Morano there in third as they roll through here off of turn number 4 for the final time here. Dylan Kinsey out front, William Watson there second, Anthony Morano third. That will be how your heat slays out here for your Gambler Motorsports heat number 1. As the results come in, waiting on them. Dylan Kinsey is your winner. William Watson second. Anthony Morano third. Alex Parmalu fourth. Sam Bachman there fifth. Brandon Dittmer there in sixth. All right, starting grid of heat number 2. Going to be Matt Barber there in first. Brian Lawson there in second. Mike Brewer third with Trevor DeRue starting in fourth. John Dubai fifth. Scott Riome there in sixth. Getting ready to go here tonight for the big block modifieds. Heat number 2. As they come off of pit road, getting lined up. Matt Barber out front as your control car. Brian Lawson second. Trevor DeRue there third. Mike Brewer here in fourth. Well, technically third. Trevor DeRue dropping back there into fourth. He's second car on the top side. John Dubai there fifth. Scott Riome sixth. Heat number 2 brought to you by Regency Home Inspections. They work down here off the corner, down into corner number 1. Brian Lawson there in second, Mike Brewer third, Trevor Carew fourth, and they work on down through here. Off the bottom of the racetrack, you see them way down there. Here comes Trevor Carew, sorry, up there on the top side. Scott Rione trying to get that bottom side to work there in that 444. Mike Brewer doing a good job getting up there in the 4th. Trevor Carew there in third. As he and Carew battle it out. Oh no, and looks like Brewer goes off the racetrack up there through 3 and 4. Collection once again though, but that's going to allow John Dubai to come back underneath him. They're coming back down the backstretch. Down into corner number 1 they go. Brian Lawson there in second, Trevor Carew there in third. Scott Rione back here in 4th as they roll down through off the corner, down into 2, onto the backstretch. Down here through off of the corner they go. Got Brian Lawson there second, Trevor Carew there in third. As they keep working on down off the corner. Scott Rione for it, Mike Brewer there 5th. Off the corner they go. 4 to go here in heat number 2. As everybody's running really close here. Really trying to get going and working off the corner. You got Matt Barber there out front. Trevor Carew there in third. Scott Rione there 4th. Mike Brewer in 5th with John Dubai there in 6th. They work off the corner. Back around here to corner number 1. Sliding off, there you see them working all together. Checker flag comes out. It's Matt Barber for the win. Brian Lawson there in second. Waiting on the results to come in. Two results. It's gonna be Matt Barber out front, Brian Lawson there in second, Trevor Carew third, Mike Brewer fourth, John Dubai there fifth, Scott Rione there in sixth. Heat number 3 coming up here brought to you by Moore Farm Management out of Clarence, Iowa. Your grid for this, it's gonna be starting off looking like this. Higher Club there in first, Chad Lackey second, Dean Reynolds third, with Jeff Barker fourth, Brian Moore there fifth, Blake Christopherson there in sixth. Everybody gets rolling here. There you see them down there on the inside of number 2. Chromed out machine of Harold Klump. Chad Lackey up there in the top side. Struggling in the 358s a little bit. There for Chad Lackey as they roll off here. Looking good. Ready to go once again. 8 laps to go down here into corner number 1. Side by side, Chad Lackey up there to the outside. Going to try to hold that number 2, Harold Klump, down a little bit as they roll down the backstretch. Hanging in there. A little bit of contact as you see sparks fly. They're coming off the 2 and the number 91. Down through the front stretch, Dean Reynolds now getting up there into the fight as he rolls down there to the bottom side. Getting underneath of Chad Lackey. That's going to allow Harold Klump to get up there in front. Here comes Dean Reynolds getting a great run down there on the bottom side. Chad Lackey trying to get down there as well. You see Jeff Barker down there on the inside in that 513. Working down there on the bottom side below the 51 of Blake Christopherson as they work down here in the corner number 3 and 4. 6 to go, now 5 to go as they come across the line. Dean Reynolds out front, getting it done here so far. Chad Lackey there in third, trying to battle underneath Harold Klump. Dean Reynolds losing it a little bit there through turns 1 and 2. Had to try to check up. Now he ends up back in 5th. Jeff Barker gets around him down there on the inside. 3 wide down across the stripe into corner number 1. And here, look at there. Chad Lackey getting a great job down there on the bottom side of the racetrack. Getting that thing really fit in there. As you see, Harold Clump really sliding it through the top side, trying to get as much grip as he can. But Chad Lackey getting that bottom side to work for him as they come there off the corner. Harold Clump there in second. Blake Dobson, he's in about the middle of the racetrack. He's getting about that lane to work. So we got a few different lanes coming about here. You see Lackey down there on the bottom side. Dobson there through the middle of the racetrack. And then Harold Clump clear up there at the top side. And it's interesting to see which lane is going to prevail here. We've got 2 laps to go. Baker Dobson gets himself up there in the second position. Harold Clump there in third, and then we'll out of turn number 4. Down across the right, final time down here in the corner number 1 here for heat number 3. Chad Lackey out front, Baker Dobson there in second. Harold Clump third, as Jeff Barker works the bottom side, coming here through 3 and 4. Getting there up into third at the moment, down across the line, and oh no, he's got to give it up, and he might end up falling back behind Dean Reynolds, which he does. There they come off the corner. Unofficial results coming up for heat number 3. Here we go. Heat number 3 results. Chad Lackey in first. Clay Dobson there second. Harold Clump third. Dean Reynolds fourth. Jeff Barker fifth. Brian Moore in sixth. Thank you all for watching, and we're going to be back after these short messages.
These dollars that come together to support us, and we realized, no, we didn't want to use them for us, we wanted to use them for others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. In the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive, so having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU for a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in the race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
All right, back here at the track, our starting grid brought to you by RSN Trackside, our feature event grid. Looks like this. Dylan Kinsey's going to start pole. Matt Barber in second. Chad Lackey third. William Watson fourth. Brian Lawson there in fifth. Clay Christopherson in sixth. Anthony Morano seventh. Trevor DeRue in eighth. Harold Clump ninth. Alex Pomerleau there in 10th. Mike Brewer in 11th. Dean Reynolds in 12th. 13th is going to be Sam Bachman with John Dubai starting in 14th. Jeff Parker 15th. Brandon Detmer starting tonight in 16th. Scott Riome in 17th. Brian Moore rounding out your field tonight in 18th. That is your starting grid, brought to you by RSN Trackside. New York's home for local racing and NASCAR coverage. Season 5 with Marty and Kelton returns January. Well, that's a little older readout. If you have a business that wants to be advertised in motorsports, send a message on RSN Trackside Facebook page to learn about the opportunity. Oh, here we go. Getting everything lined up, getting everything ready to rock and roll. Dylan Kinsey out front. Matt Barber there in second. William Watson in fourth as they get ready to go here. One more time around as that pace car brings them to it. Pace car will jump off that back stretch here as they come around off the back. Dylan Kinsey there in second. Oh, I'm sorry, Dylan Kinsey out front. Matt Barber in second there. Green flag in the air, down at the front stretch they go into corner number 1 rather. With Dylan Kinsey down there on the inside, Matt Barber up there on the outside here. You can see them coming down the back stretch. There's that 007 of Scott Riome. I'm sorry, no, not Scott Riome, that 007 of Sam Bachman, rather. 4 wide there, you've got Harold Clump down there on the inside there. You've got Brian Lawson there in the middle in that 57. Clay Christopherson up there to the outside. Here comes Anthony Morano. They work down here off the corner. 3 wide, Anthony Morano's trying to get up there. You got that 23 up there along the top side as well. William Watson. There you see Christopherson there. Sam Bachman down, trying to work his way through as well. Sam Bachman in that 007, sitting in about 12th right now. You got Dean Reynolds up there in the number 79. He's trying to work his way through. Other drivers trying to work their way around. 26 laps to go here in the feature event up the big block here at Lernerville. Matt Barber there in second. Dylan Kinsey out front. Clay Christopherson there fifth. Anthony Morano there sixth. Now in seventh as they work here off the corner. Down that front straightaway into corner number 1 and 2. Matt Barber there in second. Chad Lackey in fourth. Working down through off the corner. Everybody doing a great job here. Looking great, looking good. Matt Barber there in second. Sitting there trying to chase down the leader out Dylan Kinsey. Chad Lackey back here on the inside underneath that number 23 of William Watson. As they work down that back stretch, you can see them wheeling that car around as they come up there. And William Watson all over the wheel of that car trying to keep it on the track without going over that top edge. As they work down the back stretch, down here in the corner number 1. As they all work down through here, Trevor DeRue there in 10th. Anthony Morano there in 6th. Dylan Kinsey there out front. Matt Barber there second. William Watson there third. Chad Lackey fourth. Clay Christopherson there fifth. Anthony Morano in 6th. Brian Lawson there 7th. They work on down through here. Looks like Trevor DeRue, a little bit of trouble. Caution is out. I don't see a reason for... Oh, here we go. Mike Brewer. Mike Brewer back here in the 390. Coming there off the corner. Ends up there a little close to the outside edge. Coming down through here. Ends up down off the back side. Slides down, and he finds that protection wall down there off of turn number 4. Not sure what's going on here, if there was others involved. I got other marks here. We'll see. It might be just Dylan Kinsey. I'm sorry, Mike Brewer. It looks like, yeah, it's just Mike Brewer bringing that out there. As he was stopped there at the edge off the racetrack off of turn 4. Dylan Kinsey out front, Matt Barber there in second. Everybody getting double file back up here. 21 laps to go. It'll be 20 to go when we cross the line. Great night of racing here for the 358 modifieds. Well, this is 358, this is the big block, sorry. This is the big block modifieds coming down here out of turn number 4 down the front stretch. Getting underway. Dylan Kinsey, great restart there to get him back out front. Here comes William Watson underneath of Matt Barber now as they work down through the back stretch into corner number 3. Got 91 of Chad Lackey. Careful there as the guys got to work together. As Chad Lackey falls back behind Anthony Morano and Clay Christopherson now as they work on down through here. Real tight racing here. They work on down through. Dean Reynolds back here. He's around. Brandon Dittmer. We got Jeff Barker around as well. Well, here you see it coming through there. Dean Reynolds ends up getting into the back of Scott Rion and Harold Plump. And we got more cars kind of spun out there in the middle of that corner. That is the 91 of Chad Lackey. Coming on down through here off corner number 4, side by side, everybody's getting lined back up. Matt Barber there in second, got at least 2 more times around. Lights are finally out on that pace machine as they come down through here off the corner. Off corner number 4, here we go. Down across front straight away. Dylan Kinsey down there out front. Matt Barber there in second. William Watson third. Anthony Morano in fourth. Clay Christopherson there fifth. They work on down through here. Lap number 19 to go. William Watson down there underneath of Matt Barber trying to get something happen as they get a little loose. Coming there off of 4. Keeping it together now as they come storming down here. Trevor Giroux up there on the top side. Trying to get up there to the 397 of Alex Parmalu. Brian Lawson there in the 57 working back up through the field. As you see Sam Buckman there in the 007 down there on the bottom side. Dylan Kinsey out front hanging on to what he can. Anthony Morano, he's trying to work off to where he can here in corner number 3 and 4. Up there to the outside, hanging on to it. You got the 639 there of Dylan Kinsey. Matt Barber there in second. William Watson third. Anthony Morano there in fourth. Clay Christopherson fifth. Brian Lawson 6th. They work on down through here. Off corner number 4. And back around. Here we go. Hang on to it. As we're down to 15 laps to go here in the feature event for the big blocks. Working on down off the corner. Dylan Kinsey out front. Matt Barber there second. William Watson there third. Great night of racing here for Thursday Night Thunder with the Coast to Coast Racing League. Brought to you by here by the Extreme Speed TV. Matt Barber out there in front. Dylan Kinsey there in second. I'm sorry, flip-flop though. Scratch that in reverse type of thing. Matt Barber's in second. Dylan Kinsey's out front. William Watson there third. As they head on down through here off the corner number 2. Down that back straightaway. William Watson there third. Anthony Morano fourth. Clay Christopherson up here in fifth. Brandon Dittmer having issues as he's down through the pits, down into pit road. Our second place finisher of the 358 struggling here in the big blocks. That's now they roll down here off the corner. You got the 23 there, William Watson, Anthony Morano there in fourth. Blake Verstappen in fifth, Sam Bachman in sixth. They roll on down through here. Off the corner, 12 laps, now 11 laps to go. Down into corner number one. Everybody single file front to back as everything's working out there. You see Jeff Barker down there on the inside. You got Brian Moore down there on the inside as Cadillac is up there towards the outside trying to make something happen. As you got him working down through turns 3 and 4. Alex Parmelu there in 9th. Trevor Garou there in 8th. Brian Lawson 7th. Sam Bachman there in 6th. Blake Verstappen 5th. Anthony Morano there in 4th. As they work on down through here, lap number 10. 10 laps to go rather down here across the start finish line. 9 laps to go as they work on down here. Everybody looking great as they work on down off of 2 down across the backstretch. Dylan Kinsey out there in front. Matt Barber there second. William Watson is there trying to make something happen. Caution is out as Alex Parmelu, Chad Lackey go around. There you see Chad Lackey up there getting up, caught up in the 397 there of Alex Parmelu, who ends up spun around twice there. Ends up off the back of the raceway. There you see Alex Parmelu coming through turn 3 and 4. Looks okay there. Trouble ends up here up in turn number 1. When he gets up into that outside wall, that gets him kicked sideways up there towards the top side and just nowhere to go for Lackey. And then there you see them trying to get underneath him, ends up banking him back off the track. Once again down there through. Luckily he stays upright. He should be able to get back into forward gear, going back forward and get back on the racetrack. Dylan Kinsey is your leader. Matt Barber there second. William Watson third. Anthony Morano there fourth. Blake Verstappen fifth. Sam Bachman sixth. Brian Lawson there seventh. Trevor Garou there 8th. Scott Rione there in 9th with Brian Moore in 10th. Your top 10 right now as we're under caution for another time here tonight. 8 laps to go. Lights are out. Single file restart. Pace car's going to dip off the backstretch and we'll be back. Green flag racing here in just a split moment. There we go, off of turn 4, back down across the front straightaway. In the corner, number 1 they go. Dylan Kinsey there in front, Matt Barber there second. William Watson down there in third. Anthony Morano trying to get that third spot, can't quite get there. William Watson getting a great run off of 2, down there. Whoa, what a run there, slides it on up there in front of the 16. Cannot make it stick, ends up sliding up too high. That's going to allow Anthony Morano to get underneath him. Here through turn 3 and 4, can Anthony Morano slide it up? No, he cannot. And here comes Watson now to the outside, trying to keep it stuck there, up there across the top, way up there top of the cushion, as he gets back around Morano up there on top side. 6 laps to go. Dylan Kinsey out front, Matt Barber sticking it way up there in the cushion as well. Watson and Morano still fighting it out for 3rd and 4th as they work down here in the corner number 3. Up on turn number 4 across the front straightaway. There you see Blake Verstappen getting into the mix now. He looks underneath Anthony Morano, and Morano now looks to the top side. He's going to see if he can get that nose in above. Watson can't quite get there as of yet. Watson sticking it up there in top. Turn 3 and 4, hanging it real good up there as they come here off of turn 4, down across the strike. 4 laps to go here, back into corner number 1. Dylan Kinsey out front, Matt Barber second, William Watson third, Anthony Morano fourth, Blake Verstappen up in front in fifth, with Sam Bachman there in sixth. Brian Lawson there seventh, coming off of turn 4 for 3 to go. Matt Barber getting up there to the company from behind with William Watson gaining on him. Watson gets to the inside. Can he make something happen here in the corner number 4? Gets down there, gets that slide job. Here comes, whoa, Morano off track. He's going to get bit there. That's going to be a caution. Brought it to a stop before he got to that outside wall. You see him here, coming here through off of turn 4. Sliding up, gets that right rear off the top, and it just pulls the rest of the car over. And he'll just bring it to a stop there. That keeps from hitting anybody, or hopefully anybody from hitting him. So, green-white checker, kind of. We've got 2 laps to go here in the big blocks. Trevor Grew there in 7th. Scott Rione there in 6th. Maybe not. I could be wrong. Everything's shuffling around on me. Dylan Kinsey out front. Scott Riome is in 8th. Trevor Grew 7th. Brian Lawson 6th. Sam Bachman back here in 5th. Clay Christopherson there in 4th. Andy Morano not the night he wanted to have there. No, he's stuck back here at the end of the longest line. Lights are out. We're going to go green flag racing. They're going to come, take the green flag, take the white flag, and that'll be the race, I believe. But I could be wrong. We could be coming to the white flag this time with a 1-lap shootout. No. Okay, we are. Green, white, checker. So we're coming to the green flag, come around, get the white flag, and then we'll end it up there. Dylan Kinsey out front. William Watson getting around Matt Barber for that second place spot. So Barber not probably too thrilled about that. As they come down there, Watson doing a great job all night long so far. There you see that 007. Sam Bachman down there on the inside. He's going to do what he can. 2 laps to go. Down here out of 4 they come. Watson there in 2nd. Barber there in 3rd. Back down that front straightaway. Dylan Kinsey out front. Watson, though, right there to try to make a strike. Coming down here through the backstretch. Getting a run. Can he make something happen? And they're side by side down through the backstretch. Kinsey does get there, or Watson does get there, but Kinsey gets the run off of the corner drag race. It's going to be Kinsey for the win. Win, oh man, what a run there for Watson. He did a great job trying to get up there to battle it out. Just unfortunately came up about a half a car short due to the run that Kinsey had coming off the corner. Man, oh man, what a great run. Couldn't have asked for anything better. There for Dylan Kinsey in that number 639. William Watson in the number 23 and Matt Barber and the number 16. All right, here we go. We'll get with our interviews for the big blocks. Matt Barber, that's who we're after. Good evening, Matt. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. You got 3rd place here in the big blocks. Must be feeling okay.
Yeah, not too bad. I'll take it over the last finish.
Well, you were running good in the 358s, but unfortunately, I think you got tangled up there or something at the end.
Yeah, no, me and Anthony just got into it at the end, last lap, last corner things. It happens. I'm not too upset about it.
Well, you got 3rd place this time around, showing that you can get up there onto the podium. So, I mean, great job there. How'd that track feel tonight here for the big blocks?
The track was really slick. It was hard to run really anywhere other than right up at the top. I mean, it started coming in maybe a lane lower coming out of the corner. It was just really technical, and it was sketchy trying to not go over the edge.
When isn't it sketchy?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's the fun. That's the fun part of Lernerville, though. I mean, because you live life right on that edge. Pretty much anything you race here at Lernerville.
Oh, yeah. Super sketchy, but when you get it right, it's awesome.
and it's not an easy feat to pull off, that's for sure.
No, absolutely not.
I mean, you could have, 2-3 races where you're running good up there, and then all of a sudden you catch that something bumps you wrong, and over the back you go.
Yeah, even the second last lap there when I was getting chased by Clay, I almost dipped the wheel off in 3 and 4. So yeah, little scary right there, but we kept her clean.
Well, you definitely kept it clean, got yourself a 3rd place. You must, like I said, you must feel pretty good about that, getting off to a decent start here for the big block season. You got sponsors, shout-outs, anybody you want to thank for getting there in the podium position?
Oh yeah, Tessay Mechanical, Vertex Graphics for doing a lot of really good wraps for me and my guys and most of the people in this league. Big shout out to Dean Reynolds for getting me and my Canadian buddies into this league, and my Canadian buddies in general. Thank you to them for always having fun with and being good teammates. And of course you for putting on the broadcast here, doing a good job, and Full Throttle Motorsports.
Our pleasure. I mean, you guys definitely put on a show, and can't wait to see what next week holds as we get going. So, are you done for tonight, or are you coming back for the pro late models?
I think I might do the late models. I got some schoolwork still I got to do after that, so it can wait.
Alrighty. Well, good luck if you come out, and we'll look forward to seeing you.
Thank you.
At Matt Barber, our 3rd place finisher. Now we'll get with Clay Christoph, William Watson, our 2nd place finisher. Oh, come on now, computer. Good evening, Watson. How's it going?
Good about you?
It's going well. You had yourself a great run there at the finish.
Yeah, I had a fast car there. It took me a little while to get past them. Tried to do a last lap pass right there and came a little short.
Yeah, it's unfortunate you come up a little short, but I mean, you did a great job getting up there. I mean, just to even be battling for the lead like that, coming through the final corner, must feel pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, Dylan deserved it. You know, he ran a good race. So I mean, it's not disappointing coming in second to him. Yeah, you know, you just buy your time, know when to throw the sliders and all that good stuff like that. So that's what I was able to do to get up through there.
Well, I mean, you gave it all you had. Unfortunately, like we said, come up maybe about a half a car short. But, I mean, still nonetheless a great run there for that 23 machine tonight.
Appreciate it.
Well, you got sponsors, shout-outs, anybody you want to thank for helping you get up there and to fight as well as you did?
Yeah, teammates at FTM, you know, were racing with me all the time and putting on the sponsorship here. Everybody for driving clean tonight. Swans V Shop, Stupid Performance, Scriptex.com, Didn't Dirt Car Series, Vortex Graphics for the new wraps, and you for broadcast.
Alrighty, well, congrats there coming on, and you know, great job bringing that car up there into second place. Well, we're gonna see you trying out the pro late models coming up next.
Yes.
Alrighty, we'll look forward to seeing you on track.
Right.
So good luck.
Thank you.
All right, William Watson, our second place finisher. Now we'll get with Dylan Kinsey. Good evening, Dylan. How's it going?
Not bad. Yourself?
It's going pretty good. That was not a give me for you, that was for sure.
No, them guys definitely kept me on my toes. Matt kept me on my toes for first half of the race, and then it's a good thing that there was only 2 laps to go because Watson was definitely there, and he was faster than me. I felt like I was holding Matt up for a while, but I don't know. The track was weird. Just like coming off of 3, the car would just it wasn't showing that it was slick. You couldn't see that it was slick, but it would just the back end would come right around and you get loose. So it was just weird. It took me a long time to really get a good set of laps. My best set of laps was before that last caution.
You had a great run there, and were you a little nervous coming into that last corner when Watson had that run on you?
A little bit. I kind of, I've raced with Watson for a long time, so I kind of knew what he was going to do, and I would have, done the same thing. So I was expecting it, and I was ready for it. But like I said, it was a good thing there was only 2 laps to go because if there was 5 to go, he definitely would have won that one.
Yeah, he definitely showed some speed coming there towards the end.
Yeah, for sure. Matt was definitely there. I think he just couldn't find a line that was tick faster than what we were running, so he just couldn't get by me.
Yeah, I mean, but you did a great job getting that number 639 into the victory lane here. You got sponsors. Anybody you want to thank for helping you get up there into that spot?
Oh yeah, all the guys at FTM, Gunnar at Swan Speed Shop, Dean Reynolds at Super Dirt Car, you for the broadcast, and everyone at Coast to Coast that makes it happen, and
Alrighty.
Vertex Graphics.
I mean, great job there. Car looked great. You put that where you needed to and came out with the win. So couldn't ask for a better start to the season.
That's for sure. Starting out with the points lead, I'll need it when I go on vacation in July.
Yeah, I go on vacation next week, if you want to call it that. I'm spending 12 days at the Butler Fair, so.
Anything away from home's a vacation in my eyes.
Well, yeah, well, I got to go sit behind a table. So, but will you have yourself a great time? We're going to see you trying the pro late models.
Yeah, I'll be out there. I'll just be out there for some fun. I don't know. Who knows how I'll run with those here.
Alrighty, well, good luck, and we'll be watching.
All right, thank you.
So that was Dylan Kinsey, your victory winner here tonight for your your big block division. So stay with us. We'll be back as we here in a little bit as we get ready for the pro late models now to finish up the night. And those are being brought to you by Regal Wraps and Designs. It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Gets on the champion. Trying to be a bit of a hiatus, so let's get.
Tonight we'll be talking about it.
these dollars had come together to support us, and we realized no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. In the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive, so having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Pelvic bone was broken. I had two cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU. A little over a week. A Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. To the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
All right, welcome back here, Lernerville Speedway. We've got the Pro Link models warming up now. They head up here on the top side of the racetrack. We've got Trevor Guru up there trying to head up and over. He goes off the back side. Hopefully he can keep that on the racetrack as time comes forward. William Watson up here in 6th right now, fastest on warm-ups. Working here off the corner. Now they come down off 2, down the backstretch. Getting ready for the qualifying here soon. There you see Matt Barber getting a couple more turns there. A lot of fun to watch these guys take it around the speedway here at Lernerville, especially when Lernerville's my home track. Working down here across the front straightaway. Matt Barber down there across the bottom side, trying to figure out if the low side's where he wants to be, or the top side. Right now, Trevor Guru being your fastest one. Joseph Grandi there in second as the second fastest in practice. Second fastest in practice. Down across the front straightaway, here we go. Looking at the likes of Matt Barber as he works his way around here. Looking good. we're going to let the time run out, or if we're going to get practice going here, or qualifying going here a little earlier. It's like Waves will be getting ready for the qualifying. Here we go, off of the corner. Brandon Dittmer coming out on track. They're into number 83, up there across the top side. We'll see what he's got here. For the best time here, coming off the corner. Down across the bottom of the speedway, can't quite get there. Pat Boyce. Working there off the corner, up there towards the top side, and that number 41, bringing it down around. Hanging on here, there you go, and around it goes. Trevor Guru out there putting down a 14.680 in that number 75. Matt Barber with a 15.056. William Watson out there in that number 23 had a great run there in the big blocks. See what he can do here in the late model. It looks like he's going to come out with the pole at the moment with a 14.601. So that'll put him starting fourth in Heat 1, if that is the case. "20 seconds left in qualifying, so somebody could possibly get out here and run one lap. I don't know, though. I doubt it. Down off of turn 4, 7 laps to go. Down here through off of turn number 2. Sam Bachman down there on the inside. Dylan Kinsey out front. Watson now, he's going to be up there, and look how much that Pat Boyce machine hangs it out there in the corner. Sam Bachman all of a sudden disappeared there. He reappeared again. Off of turn number 2. Watson looking to see if he can get to the inside. Maybe not. Looking to the outside now. Boyce got to be careful. He's got company. Down through the front stretch, they're getting together. Oh no, Boyce goes up and off of the track. They're in turn number 1. Sam Bachman upside down. They're in turn number 1. That's going to be the 639 of Dylan Kidd. All right, Heat 2 results gonna look like this. Matt Barber in first, Trevor Guru there second, Anthony Morano there third, Scott Rionport, John Dubai fifth, and Dean Reynolds finishing out sixth. We'll be back, give my voice a rest, and get myself something to drink here as I'm apparently out. So we'll be back after these messages. Thank you for watching here at Fleeger Farm TV on the pole, along with the Coast to Coast Racing Network.
of love was amazing. These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized, no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive. So having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately, they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
All right, good evening and welcome back here to Flicker Farm TV and Coast to Coast Racing Network. As we get ready to go here for the feature event. Everybody get lined up. Your starting grid brought to you by RSN Trackside. Matt Barber is going to be your, no, I'm sorry, that's your finishing results. I want grid. Dylan Kinsey starting out there on pole. Matt Barber there second. William Watson third. Trevor Garou there fourth. Brandon Dittmer there fifth. Anthony Morano there in sixth. Pat Boyce there in seventh. Scott Riome eighth. Sam Bachman in ninth. John Dubai there in 10th. Joseph Grandi there in 11th. Dean Reynolds in 12th. 13th. Gonna be Chad Lackey. Those are your 13 drivers starting tonight. 8 drivers get set to rock and roll. "30 laps to distance. Coming here up corner number 2, down the backstretch. Pace car's going to leave off, and we'll get racing. Green flag in the air, here we go. Dylan Kinsey going out there trying to get it done. Guys, he's on the outside. Getting up there, Matt Barber getting a good start. He's out there in front. Possibly have William Watson off the top of the racetrack. He's pretty quick in his heat, ends up falling off, ends up back here at the back of the pack now. They come down through the backstretch. The 75, Trevor Garou down here in the corner number 3. The 16 of Matt Barber, he's working along there. He's out front. As Dylan Kinsey has ended up falling back in the 4th. Morano on the top side, Trevor Garou there in front. Now here comes Matt Barber. He's going to make another run at it here, down on the inside, coming off of turn 4. Scott Riome, Brandon Dittmer, William Watson all getting off problems back here on the backstretch. Brandon Dittmer there John Dubai, Scott Rion, back in the pit. Out front, 26 laps to go. Morano now in second. Trevor Carew there in front. Matt Barber falls back into third. Dylan Kinsey back here to fourth. As we were hearing, this track being a little bit of a trouble spot for these drivers tonight. As they're running, they're having a hard time trying to get that car hooked up there on that top side. Especially the more power these cars have. Trying to get that car to stay gripped up there at the top side, because there's not much up there when you start to think about it. There isn't much room for air whenever you start thinking about it. I mean, we'll go on board here with Matt Barber, who's currently running third, and you can just look at how close he is to that top side of the racetrack. As he comes around, just look how close that is. I mean, he's right there along that outside berm, trying to keep it hooked up. Trevor Carew up here in front. We're on board with him now. Get an onboard shot of that as they come on down through here. Working on the corner. He's down a little bit lower as you come up here to turn 3 and 4. Look how much they hang it out there, up there towards the top. He's hoping that that right rear stays hooked up. I mean, it's definitely a sketchy feeling whenever you're running up there like that. And come here out of turn 4. Here comes Pat Boyce. And at number 41, running a little lower on the racetrack. There you see Anthony Morano. He's trying to chase down Trevor Carew. William Watson back here. He's in jeopardy of going a lap down. He was quick in his heat, but here in the feature, he's struggling. As he ended up off track a couple times. Now he's up there towards the top. Trying to keep that thing hooked up. Now you can see Trevor Carew, he's hanging that right rear right on that edge. Coming here off the corner. Take another look at it as it comes out of 4. Just look how close that right rear is. Coming there off of turn 4, right there. I mean, he's right on that edge. Going down here into corner number 3, or corner number 1 and 2, down the backstretch. Into corner number 3 and 4. Matt Barber off track down the backstretch. And he's going to keep it off. Now he'll bring it back on. After he ends up falling in behind Pat Boyce. Or no, I'm sorry. Who did he fall in behind? I'm not sure, though. Looked like Sam Bachman. Yeah, Sam Bachman is there. You see Matt Barber. Dylan Kinsey there in third. Morano's second. Trevor Carew there in front. Doing a great job, really hanging it out there. Morano has no choice but to try to hang it up there. To try to gain what little bit he can. I mean, these late models, they love that top groove, and you can see that tire track coming through the corner of how high these guys are coming there off of the corner. Down here into corner number 1, they got 13 laps to go. And you can see that top groove right up there at the edge as they come back down the backstretch. And once again, up there through turn 3 and 4, way up there. Hanging it out there for all it's worth. Dylan Kinsey back here in third, Dean Reynolds in fourth. And really, that's the only quickest way to get around here right now. Is I'm not sure if there's anything along the bottom or not. Dean Reynolds testing the waters there for a moment, as he's got some damage to the front end of that late model. Down here through turn 3 and 4, back across in the front stretch. Anthony Morano up here towards the top. There you see Trevor Carew, Dean Reynolds there fourth. Sam Bachman in fifth, Matt Barber there sixth. Pat Boyce back here in seventh. They bring it on down. There you see William Watson. John Dubai back here in ninth. Trevor Carew up front. John Dubai and Brandon Dittmer both a lap down right now. As Anthony Morano, he's trying to catch up there to Trevor Carew, who's currently catching on William Watson. So Watson's got to make sure that he keeps it together. 9 laps to go. Who knows? Watson may be in trouble with going a lap down here, which could be a little bit of a factor here for Trevor Carew and Anthony Morano, especially if Trevor Carew gets hung up here a moment. We'll see. Watson doing a great job staying out front, getting that car back under control, getting it back under his liking as they work here through 3 and 4, but that still doesn't mean Trevor Carew is catching him. Anthony Morano, he's hoping that he gets hung up there for a while. There you see Watson dropping down a little bit, coming through turn 1 and 2, hoping that he got a little bit of breathing room, which looks like he may have. I don't know. I don't know if he tried running the bottom through 1 and 2 and then high through 3 and 4. I don't know if that would work or not. And we've got 6 laps to go. Morano up there towards the top side, running top there, in through 3 and 4, running top through 1 and 2. Well, there goes William Watson back down to the bottom, and he pulled away this time from Trevor Giroux a little bit there through 1 and 2. So I'm wondering, is there something to run at bottom at 1 and 2? As there you see Watson go back down there, and Trevor Giroux, he's going to start gaining that same spot. As he's kind of seeing what I was maybe seeing up here in the booth, as Trevor Giroux is getting back up there to William Watson. As Watson goes back down there through the bottom on 1 and 2, brings it back up to the top side. Trevor Giroux there, Anthony Morano, he might be, I don't know if he's lost anything or not. No, he gained, well, he's still hanging about a second behind Trevor Giroux. Hailing down through the backstretch, it's 2 laps to go. Trevor Giroux hanging on there, and Watson doing all he can to hang on to the lead lap as he's now getting around Pat Boyce, so he'll pick up a spot. Pat Boyce drops back. He's going to drop behind there and become a lap down. Trevor Giroux there coming off of the corner. Anthony Morano there in second as they work there off the corner. William Watson going to hang on. He's going to end up taking it down there through the bottom. He's got 1 more lap to go. What a run there for Trevor Giroux. Anthony Morano back here in second. Dylan Kinsey in third here tonight for your late models. Waiting on your... Whoa! Not sure who that was that just decided we're going to go and end the night by going to the catch fence. Feature results here. Trevor Giroux in first, Anthony Morano second, Dylan Kinsey third, Dean Reynolds fourth, Matt Barber there in fifth, Sam Bachman sixth, William Watson seventh, Pat Boyce there in eighth, John Dubai ninth, Brandon Dittmer in 10th, Scott Rione there in 11th, Joseph Grundy there in 12th, Chad Lackey in 13th. That'll do it for your night of racing here. We'll get with the winners here. I hope. See if they come in here to the broadcast booth. Looking for the top 3 finishers. Trevor Giroux, Anthony Morano, we got Dylan Kinsey here now with us. He's our 3rd place finisher. Good evening, Dylan. How's it going?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Well, you got the 3rd place tonight in the Pro Late Models. How'd you kind of feel in them tonight?
When I went into practice, first thing I said was, man, these are tight. I don't remember them being that tight. Must be something from the update. But it took me a long time to get used to it. I don't know. I just got lucky I got 3rd because it sucks that Matt went over the top and kind of just got gifted 3rd place. But we were running pretty good. I was going to finish top 5. But yeah, it just took me a while. Once it really slicked off, it kind of helped out a little bit.
Well, once it slicks off, there really isn't much of a line to hit up there at the top side.
No, I just kept banging it all race long in 3 and 4, and then I was kind of running middle a little bit in 1 and 2. But I don't know, just felt really comfortable in 3 and 4, and I don't know if it's because I got used to it early and I just stuck with it. So yeah, it felt pretty good up there.
Well, you did a great job getting the victory, or not the victory, but 3rd place tonight here in the Pro Late Models. So, you got sponsors, shout-outs, anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, I thank all the guys at FTM, Gunner Swan Speed Shop, Dean Reynolds at Super Dirt Car, DJ for this wrap, you for sponsoring this and covering the broadcast, and everyone at Coast to Coast that makes it happen.
Alrighty, well, it's our pleasure and glad to see it continuing. I mean, It's always fun watching the late models here at Lernerville and other tracks as well. I mean, so hopefully we can gain some more notoriety for them, and we'll see. I mean, great job tonight putting that in the third place.
Yeah, thank you.
All righty. Well, you have yourself a great night, Dylan, and we'll see you in a few weeks.
All right, thanks.
All right, how about Dylan Kinsey, our third place finisher? Now we'll get with Anthony Morano. Good evening, Morano. How's it going?
Hey, Adam. What's going on, buddy?
It's going fairly well. You finally put that. You finally figured out Lernerville. You struggled in the modifieds.
Yeah, I was doing pretty good there in the 358s, and then last corner, I don't know what happened with Matt there. I got into his back end. It looked like he kind of just was spinning the tires and just stalled out, and I tagged him and I just shut the car down and got out. And big blocks, I think 2 to go. I just went over like an idiot. So yeah, screwed myself in both races. So it's pretty good to end up front here.
Well, I mean, it happens. It's the nature of racing, right?
Yeah, accidents happen.
So, I mean, you did a great job. You got that thing. You kept it in one piece, kept it on the track, at least, which is always a good thing. Kind of take us through, though. I noticed that you kind of were, a lot of you guys were staying up there to the high side. I was starting to wonder there towards the late run, kind of 3 and 4 is usually you want to run high, but through 1 and 2, you think you could have maybe tried running the bottom in 1 and 2 to gain a little bit or not?
I know Bart ran down there a few times there towards the end. He said he was like a tenth and a half faster or something like that. But I'm just so used to running the top here that it's a lot more comfortable. I feel like I screw up the entrances on the bottom, so I was just gonna stay committed. And of course, I goofed there. I think on the last lap, or coming to the white flag, I went off coming out of 2 anyway. So thankfully, I had enough of a cushion over Kinsey there. But it's one of those things, tough track. It's a lot of fun to run on when it gets slick like that, so at least it was fun.
Oh, that's the biggest thing. You guys got to come out and have some fun. So, I mean, great job. Look great. Can't wait to see what next week holds for us. You got sponsors, shout-outs, anybody you want to thank for helping you get into second place tonight?
Yeah, I got to thank my wife, Sherry, the boys over at FTM, Super Air Car, Swan Speed Shop, Hi Mom Lens, DJ Sim Shop, Vertex Graphics, Expert Installation, Shaggy TV, Regals, Wraps and Designs for sponsoring the Pro Late models. Adam, you for coming out and doing the broadcast and running it coast to coast.
All right, our pleasure, and can't wait to see what the rest of the season holds. Unfortunately, I'm going to miss the next 2 weeks because of local stuff going on here with the fair, but I'll be back after that full force and ready to go.
All righty, man. Sounds good. I'll catch you later.
All righty, you have a great night, Anthony, and congrats on second place.
Thanks, buddy. You too.
All right, now we'll get with our victory winner, Trevor. Good evening, Trevor. How's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing well. How's that victory lane feel tonight?
Oh, man, it feels really good. Starting off the season hot, so can't complain, really. Not too great of a run in the mods there, so to cap off a mediocre night with a win here in the late models, we'll definitely take it.
Well, they're towards the end of the run. I started looking there at turn 1 and 2, and just because, one of my favorite lines that I've come to like is I run bottom through 1 and 2 and then the top through 3 and 4, and I'm like, I wonder if that line would come in right about now. And about a lap or 2 later, I see you and Watson running that lower line through 1 and 2.
Yeah, I saw Bart there in front of me. He ran it, and I was on the top, and he goes, "That was way faster," and had Scotty spotting for me. So he said, "Try that," and tried it, and it felt pretty good. And as the laps wound down there with 5 to 10 to go, and I knew I had a gap on Anthony there. I wasn't really trying to push the top too hard. If Anthony was right on me, I probably would, because I felt like that was the fastest, but. With him being, with me having a bit of a gap there, I kind of was willing to, try a couple different lines and just not risk falling off. But yeah, I mean that line came in pretty late, and it definitely worked for William there.
Well, and it definitely worked for you. I mean, it helped put a little bit of space between you and Anthony too.
Yeah, for sure. And I saw Anthony closing in there and for a little bit, and I think he just made a mistake, and then I was able to pull back away, and then yeah, that's all she wrote. So definitely not my greatest track statistically, but happy to get a win here for sure. We had a decent car count, some real good drivers in here, so happy to park it up front.
We definitely enjoyed watching it tonight. You did a great job, and great start to the season for the Pro Late model. I know that guy that finished behind you tonight. He's a tough one to beat.
Yeah, big time. Trying to get one of them fancy championships from him. He keeps winning the dang thing. So we'll just stay consistent all season long and see how it all plays out. It's a long season. Like I said, just consistency is key. So we'll just play our cards right and do what we can here and see how it goes. But I mean, like you said, Anthony's just hard to beat, man. Like in everything he drives, he's hard to beat. So to have him behind me and me winning this race is pretty cool. It doesn't happen very often. So yeah, we'll see how the season plays out. But I mean, man, to start the season with a win in these late models, that's huge for me. I got a championship in this league in the 358s a few seasons back, but I want one in the pros. But like I said, long season, and we'll see how it goes.
Alrighty, well, congrats getting that victory. Sponsors, shout out to anybody you want to thank for helping you get that victory tonight.
Yeah, first and foremost, got to thank Scotty. He was spotting for me tonight, and telling me just gaps and what lines he thought were fast, and he was a bunch of help tonight, and he said if I win the dang thing, he wants a shout out. So there you go, Scotty. Yeah, shout out to Scotty, man. He's a great dude, but obviously all the guys at FTM, it's pretty cool being a part of this team, man. It's a great group of guys, and I've improved a lot over the last few weeks, couple months that I've been here, and just got to thank Big Tim Race Wraps, brought his wrap out tonight. Castleberry Flagstone, Expert Installation, everyone at C2C, all the sponsors that puts the stuff on to keep the stuff broadcasted. We really appreciate it. I like going back and watching, so it's huge to have a broadcast. Really, really, really appreciate everyone who keeps this stuff broadcasted for us. And like I said, thanks to everyone at C2C, and looking forward to a great season here. Great way to start it off. So let's see if we keep her going.
Alrighty, yeah, try to keep that momentum up as we know how tough that team of yours is to try to get ahead of one another.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's we always find each other on the track, and it's like I said, it's a great group of guys to be a part of. We all help each other get better and make each other better just racing against each other. So yeah.
All right, well, you have yourself a great night there, Trevor, and congrats getting that victory tonight, and we'll see you in a few weeks.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, that'll do it here tonight from Lernerville. Thank you all for watching. It's been a great night of racing all the way around here, as you see Trevor Drew getting the win here in the Pro Late Models, followed up by Anthony Morano and Dylan Kinsey. So hopefully you'll see us again here at Flicker Farm TV and Coast to Coast Racing Network. As Coast to Coast Racing Network, they have a lot of stuff coming up on different nights of the week. So be sure if you're watching on Coast to Coast Racing Network, hit that like and subscribe and everything you need to make sure you get notified at upcoming races, as there's always something good going on here at Coast to Coast. And alrighty, so thank you again for watching, and we'll catch you all there later on. Thank you so much for watching.